And then as the child is raised and grows, then its needs are further met with, its nutritional needs are met with different foods and substances. And in the same way, the Buddha has done the very same thing for us. In the beginning, so the Buddha's advice follows, a very similar course. The Buddha first taught the Four Truths, which are so essential for us to understand in the path. For the Four Truths are like the stable and solid ground that has now been leveled and is very ready for the structure of the house to be built upon it. So we start, and in the Buddha's first turning of the wheel, then the Buddha taught the Four Truths. So important, the level ground for which the rest of our practice will sit upon. And then in the second turning of the wheel, where the Buddha taught the truth of a cessation and taught the Prajnaparamita texts, where the wisdom of emptiness was now introduced, the view of emptiness with which one could now take to be liberated from samsara. And the Buddha taught that there is liberation from samsara and taught the view of emptiness. And then the Buddha taught on Buddha nature and taught this cause that we have been speaking about the nature of mind, Buddha nature, and the truth of the path, where the Buddha then introduced and clarified the meaning of what it means of the luminous, clear light nature of the mind. The meaning was clarified in the third turning of the wheel. And in this way, we learn about all of these different aspects of the path, and we come to know we can attain Buddhahood. This is how we do it. We gain not only the instruction, but the inspiration and the confidence that this is a meaningful path. There is meaning in this. There is a way to do it, and we can traverse this path and reach Buddhahood as well. The Buddha has taught in such a way that we should, there's no two ways about it. We should have confidence that we can attain this path for ourselves as well.
Yeah, that. Ken give singing in Jepala. They tempun sopadan dayans. Give singing in Maguna, Marki Chawang and Bala, Komsing, Pacha, Tembitoki, Chanchuki Lamla, Jupar Cows. Then when we married that, then Bare. Tang was a tempun sopa city, Kazan Talogan, George Chan, military watches in the top cover shoes they do. Jazan, Kongazo. 디 톱데 야보지디 여대 여래데 치다 그 부남제 야보였나 인 롭단도니 예겐기 말랍나 부남제 야보여서 좀 페마송 스쿨 강바 야보여서는 페마송 그때는 강가 초고로 와 이게 남게 아니 즉 소선한게 파마게 꿀자 아니 롭데 진경 야보 강가 초고라 되나지 다 개위 신인데 개 전부지래 라브래 좀니 대파더니 예와당 저와수지 증이당 댐베 탑당 파윤대 나이 나이 신인 댐바도 있을때 아다 개위 신이 바게 다디 돔들이 데라 당부 개위 신인 집에 테팔라 숨데일 룽다리바 거다 텐데게 두빈 수숨고래 룽게 두비아레 베두비아 룽제데다 상기기 룽땅야레다 다데 두아니 시베게 신인스데 요래 아니 도데니 시베게 신인 나니 시베게 신인 왜 신인을 뺐다가 내리만 보여래.
And now starting in our text, the beginning of chapter 3, the contributory cause, Even though we have the excellent working basis, a precious human life, if we're not encouraged by spiritual masters, then it will be difficult to follow the path of enlightenment because of the power of the non virtuous, inverterate propensities of previous lives and the force of habitual tendencies. Therefore, it is necessary to attend spiritual masters. And so, this is, very, very true and really accords to what we can find in other aspects of our life. And first, we should know that, as it says here, even though we have the excellent working basis, a precious human life. So, what this means by excellent working basis and precious human life, and we've spoken about that before, then this means a human life that is fully complemented with the 18 freedoms and endowments. It's fully complemented with the freedoms and endowments. However, in the same way, let's say we take a young child who is very sharp-witted, has really great aptitude, but doesn't meet with the right conditions, doesn't have a good teacher, or perhaps their parents haven't encouraged them to use this aptitude. So although they have the aptitude, they haven't really encountered the encouragement of their parents or good educators, then this isn't going to be put to use. And further on here in the text, it says, the summary, reason, classification, the characteristics of each classification, method, benefits of attending the spiritual masters. These 5 comprise attending the spiritual master. So we have a list of the 5 different points here that we will look at attending the spiritual master. And the first thing that's listed here is reason. So there are 3 reasons that are expounded upon here, explaining why we have to attend a spiritual master. And the reasons come under the categories of A, scripture, B, logic, and C, simile. And so when we talk about scripture, then there will be scriptural supports given. And the scriptural supports will be given based on, the Buddha's teachings. And we have the categories of sutras and tantras. And our spiritual masters, our spiritual gurus, and also come in the form of those that teach us the scriptures of sutra and the scriptures of tantra.
Wata lungdela dodupa dan ketongbe lungtang gdwa dupales loma zampo lamar kuinden tetaki lama kepa tala tato tembarcha chichiri jena kepe yunden telenjung lamal tengwa karzena ran la nipe zampe yunden lama telenjungri tindi lama tengure lama sidigala ran le yunden la pa jinge pardo guore be miziba ke chembore ani penjen narobe sundwa lama me pe kono sangi je be tseme kalzan sangi tonda kyang lama tala teni jungzir sundwa tat pe kalzan sang jamgon lama zonga pa chembo simni mi kya bare de kanje lama mangbu ten nang dwa daga na jingi ta pe
Jerumpoche.
jerumpoche lama mangbu ten nang dwa ani 저기 marwa lotawa jita pe katse kale gyamne gyala chine shu kale gyane ni pe naropada miti bala soba teni pe gyara tupje mangpun laman ten nande kale shu gyabdo ani milagwe te teligyang milik kule gyanggen da jinda khabore oda tenigi pe lamek kachi song katumche ani pe 두스니 연된 잡으러와 상기버와 지미라이나 어다 딘데레 뺀니스버 개침부 차디가래 맨 다 개통박이 농데 주샴리도 바바 개통벌레 강 니들 전주서 봐서 좀 몰라나면 봐 양다 벌어서 배 전주 공부서 봐 상월 개월 더베스 다 오니 둥알 멀리 파네 상계지다 둥알 멀리 바빠 대화 타르도 받는 득이 나라 그래 담보니도 그 신일라 니버자스 아니 템버자스 니네 팽고 말에 수수페 균도 때 템포 야보지니 땡고레스 땡줄 말로 받고 고레스 아니 구르티제 거래 세타도 숨어봐 그 신인 구르티즈데 파 랍샤게 냠린체 바이나 텔라 구르티요 말에 구르티제인데 텔라 구르티요 말에
랍샤
파 랍샤교데 냠렌치 뇽몽 가서 슝충르다 아니 수수 냠렌치 바이나 그 신인 답에 겐게버래 간지 배샤 가보지 배샤더니 지 신인 얘기였나 이 신인데 신인 양다 봐지 말해 가버려야 돼 오늘 개침버다 맞을로 냠렌체데 할 리베 개침버리 간지 라바데 맞잖아 이때니 배샤테 컴파테나 따이 시비시비 펜도 용마와 따이 배샤 가버리지 그 신인지나 또서 대갑도들 소치치데 젠도 가버려 좀 멜멜데 젠도 가버려 되기
You mean gewe she ngato loma ki gewe she senyenla ani kampate dam paichi.
컴파테 배샤테나 따티 갑도들 때 그 신인데 간좀 멜멜데 젠도 간도 가버려 젠도 가버려 돼 돈라고 그 신인 음마도 차요 말해 니 갑도라가 orta
Yes. And so here we're going to look at, so we're in the category of reason. And again, under reasons, the reasons of needing to attend a spiritual master will be explained through scripture, logic, and simile. Right now we're going to look strictly at the scripture, the scriptural support, where the first scriptural support here in the text comes from the Condensed Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, where it says, "The noble disciple who has respect for the Lama should always attend the wise Lama because one receives good qualities from him." And so here we're speaking about, what is the reason that we really need to have a guru? Why do we need to have a guru? This is because our good qualities all emerge and become manifest based on the wise Lama. And so we should rely on a spiritual friend, a master. And as Naropa has said, Yankyerchik Naropa ki sikchedi genla Naropa ki sikchedi
Lama mepe corona sangi jipe tsayamesi
lasso.
kalzan sangi tonta kan lama tala teni jungs
And so Naropa has said that there is not the name of one who has attained attainment who has not relied on the Lama. And that all of the Buddhas of the great Kalpas have relied on a spiritual master. And even we can look in the life history of the great master Jetsun-Kapa, who himself relied on many spiritual masters. He depended on, relied on, and studied with many spiritual masters, as did, if we look in the life story of Marpa as well, and see the way that Marpa also depended on and relied on spiritual masters to become accomplished. And then he had so many lamas, and as well, then his student Milarepa relied on Marpa entirely through Marpa's encouragement, through Marpa's, advice. It was Milarepa who, in one lifetime, gained enlightenment solely based on relying on his guru. And so, really, it's such an important point that we bring about our good qualities and actually come to accomplishment and realization based on our masters, on our gurus. And then there is another quote here within our text that comes from the 8,000 stanzas of Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, where it says, from the beginning, a bodhisattva, mahasattva, who wishes to achieve the unsurpassable, complete, perfect enlightenment, should meet, attend, and pay respect to spiritual masters. And so until all of our, qualities are attained, this is what we must also do. We must meet, respect, and rely on the spiritual master. Because really, whether or not we come to attainment really depends on this. And when we speak about the spiritual master or spiritual friend here, this is someone from whom we receive advice and practice their advice. This is how to rely on a spiritual master. We should be very, very clear about this. What is it that delights the genuine and authentic spiritual master? It's not our money. It's not our praise. It's not our giving of gifts and so forth to the spiritual master. This is not a genuine spiritual master. The genuine spiritual master is delighted when we take their advice. Through hearing that advice, we engage in practice. We engage in practice that then has the effect on diminishing our negative mental states. When we practice and our negative mental states subside, this is pleasing to the genuine spiritual master. So we should understand it's practice that's important, and that is what the authentic guru would want. But if you're giving, this guru money or houses or gifts, and this is, what they're seeking, or this is what delights them, then and Geshe-la says, I'm directly telling you here, this is not a genuine spiritual master. The genuine spiritual master is a master that gives you teachings and wishes for you to put them into practice so that your own mental state progresses.
Mila jebe doji sungre. Nor zanzing jimba dala mes. Palame katin dubin jals.
Okay, tsikang tangpo hakosong, tsikang nipa?
Niba palame katin dubin jals. Tate monere. Nan pesha te tane da tiyo marta. Mila konan penjor chekinji marawa. Tiyo marawa. Ngede ni pe pa ni pe marba da naru pe katin te kandis sabgu in sedu kara. Ngin duwa nyingbu kyamne. Kale kyamne. Duwe thoni. Tak lami katin jal gi in sedu kala tate mone loma tsende te terita.
And so Milarepa has said that it is not with money or riches or material things that I set forth, but to repay the kindness of my master, Marpa. Then I will gain. I will gain accomplishment to repay his kindness. And so this is also here an authentic and genuine disciple. This disciple sees that to pay his great kind master Marpa, what is necessary is to strive on the path. and to attain accomplishment. This is how to repay Marpa. And so this is really the sign also here of an authentic, genuine disciple.
와다 두스타 리베투와다 다디 깨침부차가 왔다. 라마 땡과 가르세 리베투야다 룽기 다 투성 다 리베투야다 가르레즈나 리바니스 탐제 켐마트베 가사 추진스다 상기 고방 토버던더긴기 답에 오늘 남주진기 미지 이나라브레 미데 결혼을 남아 땡고레스 가사디 교기 개회식인 땡고바 담자데스 랑인기 소사야데 결혼식이 말레스 디바장야데 시그마레스 제상 소산 디비장 맞지나 상기 고방 토야 요마로와 딩이시야 돈달라 결혼 남아 땡고레스도 리바야보도와.
And so now, so that's been a little bit about the scriptural support of supporting the need to attend a guru, a master, spiritual master, a teacher. And the next thing that we do is we look at the reason based on logic. And it says here in the text, one who wishes to achieve the omniscient state should attend a spiritual master. And we stop there to pause because the point needs to be emphasized here. If you really wish to be enlightened. And so first, the disciple should have a real, sincere wish to gain enlightenment. And it goes on to say, should attend a spiritual master because of not knowing how to accumulate merit or how to purify obscurations. And so in order for us to attain that which we really and sincerely wish, which is to become enlightened, awakened, we make the pledge and we have the wish, but then we need to know how to go about it. And there are two things that we really have to qualify here in order to be well on the path to enlightenment, which is to understand how to accumulate the different accumulations, how to accumulate merit, and how to free ourselves of the veils of obscuration that keep us from becoming enlightened. So we have to understand how to do that. And from whom do we get this knowledge? From whom do we gain this advice? Again, it is the spiritual master. And then it goes on to say, the positive illustration of this is the Buddhas of the 3 times. On the other side are the solitary realizers.
다 디도아. 교기 개회 신인 땡고바 땀지대서 땀자스디가라 켈렌리. 켈렌시디가라 베 템보지고 그래라래. 아니 군gen장집이 퍼진갑담베 타전에 수요래. 땀바남기 깨지 미제지.
양키책
땀바남기 깨지 미제지. 켈리 케바데서 땀바데서 켈링이 말했어. 켈레나 갈때 베 카보지는 켈랭고 중이나. 아니 땀바남기 깨지 미제지. 갈때 카베 깨지 랑교나. 돌라 리모트 발타부르기루스. 더 리모트 바나진지. 템포제데. 아니 베 티니준데. 아니 베 유튜브에 가지고 고아레스. 켈렌시아데 템치고 고아레.
라소드네 아니 도르드 샤나 아니 나토 아니 레라보 켈렌 켈렌기 요마레
다 옌기도시에데 레라보 디마르와 아니 날렌다이나 로추버도 따지 땅고 거래
게웨셴년 닥시
베 디리 어때 디디노도 랑이 초소바단 디바종아 미시비치락도 소사에데 레라보 요마라 소사시디가라 아니 퍼진투도 파 가서 DJ나 장주 퍼진투데 다 장주기 셈기 짐베고네 짐베 퍼진 짐바 줄짐 소바 그래서 다 손음기 소스로 거래 동이 디나라 아니 오니 통용 그래 아니 딩인진기 퍼진다 새롭게 퍼진인데 아니 이식이 소란 두고 가래. 존디게 버진데 니가 인ser 숨어래. 된디가 대소 맞아 시고로 와. 가르제니 시고래. 다 소놈기 소득이 zugutu buare.
Oh, Jan Kirchik.
Sonamgi sodigi zugutu buare. Tuja sangi zugute. Ani ishigi sodigi chukutu buare. Chukuku. Oh, di so nigi karsa rangi so paso sondena oda tikiti mangpuji doa. 아니 디바 좀 미시비시도 디바달라 뇽모빈 디바 아니 대당 아니 시티바 아 간쟁 어저기라 뇽모기 디지동 여러와 윤윤주 마로와 디에네 제퍼체 간디스구요메 대수강가베 람림반도 드에서 시구도 아시 오늘 이거 야보 때 미스베 야보르다 오다 두스리 데텐지 양다레스 튠페 가르즈나 뒤숨 상기 지노스 뒤숨게 상기 지노스 스리가라 페나 아니 데베 상기 마르멘제 코란지 오숭라 소바야 라마 테네네 상기 바레스 탈타베 상기 셰게 투바야 아니 페 게베싱인텐 라마티 텐네니 상게바레스 몽바나 상기 규르기 준 잠발라서바야 라마테네니 페 상기그리스 두숭거와
Okay, Chicago maso ani di dampa ani
담바남게 케지 메지징
yeah this
담바자네 케바레
this rampodo.
담바는게 케지 메지 깔데 까웨 케지 랑규나스 페 케랑고 중이나
Rimo nangshin.
돌라 리모티 받나지
Oh,
돌라 리모티나 템포로와
oh lasso.
추 리모티나 발라비온도 추
Oh,
수두와
re. Oh,
아니
lasso.
세간라 리모트네 룽게 수두고 단당 아주 제데 추 리모티바당 아주 켈렌 제데 추 리모티야당 아니 탈레간라 리모티나 진주마도 더 리모티나 진치기 오마라 디마진 가서 종라고
And so here we have this word to attend a spiritual master. And this word attend here has the aspect of taking on and accepting, like pledge one's trust and to accept. And we should understand that this is something that we shouldn't just do very well. First of all, we should understand that in order for us to achieve any attainments, we do this completely upon reliance of a guru. If we're even speaking about attending a guru, this means we're going to have them as an object of our reliance. We will be relying on them. And there is a quote that says that the great knowledgeable and expert ones do not easily attend a spiritual master. But rather, when they do take this on, they take it on with stability, with accepting and attending to the spiritual master like painting on rock. And so there we could draw a picture in the water, or we could draw a picture in sand, or we could paint on rock. If you draw a picture on the water, as soon as you're drawing it on the surface of the water, it's gone. If you're drawing in the sand, the wind comes along and it's gone. But when you paint the color on stone, then it sticks. There's stability. And so we should know that we should not just easily, without some investigation and analyzation, rely on a spiritual master. But actually, within the scriptures and the scriptures of Nalanda, it was set forth that we should really analyze the spiritual master for even 10 years before we fully place our reliance on this master. Are they a genuine master? Do we genuinely, can we rely on them? And so we should think about that when we're looking at this word, attending a spiritual master. And here further it says, because of not knowing how to accumulate merit and purify obscurations. So we look more about accumulating merit, and accumulating merit is not an easy thing if we don't rely on a spiritual master to understand what that means. And then how do we accumulate merit? It's not easy to perfect the paramitas, to bring to full perfection these 6 perfections. And for what we really need to do when we're working through the different paramitas is we need to embrace a mind of bodhicitta while undertaking the conduct of the 6 paramitas. So we hold the mind of bodhicitta while we engage in the perfections of generosity, the perfection of ethical discipline, the perfection of patience. And in doing so, we gather the accumulation of merit. So the first 3 go to the category of the accumulation of merit. And then when we're working on the paramitas of single-pointed concentration and wisdom, then we are again embracing bodhicitta. Then these are the accumulations of wisdom. And then we have the paramita of diligence, which actually works to, when this is employed, then this actually gains both the accumulation of wisdom and the accumulation of merit. Now, without attending a spiritual master, how would we even come to understand these intricacies? And these are things that we should know. And when we engage in the conduct of the 6 perfections and we're accumulating merit, then these are the causes that will further ripen into the result of the form kaya of the Buddha. And then when we are gathering the accumulation of wisdom, these are the causes that will ripen into the result of the Dharma. Of the Dharmakaya, of the Dharmakaya. And both of these are needed. We need to gather both of these. And as well, then we need to be thinning and eliminating the veils of obscurations, that which keep us obscured from becoming enlightened. And first are the veils or the obscurations of the afflictions. And it said within our mind streams, we have 84,000 different, like subtly different obscurations of afflictions. So that's no easy task. That's no small task. 84,000. How are we going to exhaust these? How do we bring these to an end so that they are no more in our mental continuum? Again, not an easy thing. The way that we understand how to exhaust both the afflictive obscurations and then the more subtle cognitive obscurations, these are exhausted through our applying the stages of the path that we learn about when we attend. We need to know how to do that, and we know this through attending a spiritual master. And so then further here it says the positive illustration of this, so meaning of how to exhaust the obscurations and accumulate merit at the same time. A positive illustration of this is the Buddhas of the three times. And Geshe-la here has given a little commentary on that. Because the Buddhas of the three time, the Buddha of the past, the Buddha Marmé,
고르완지 설득 어순
has obtained this through Genla.
고르완지 설득 어순 대배상게
And so the Buddha of the past attended gurus and spiritual masters and attained the enlightened state of Buddha. And then the Buddha of our present time, the Buddha Shakyamuni, as well, relying on gurus and masters and following their advice, became completely enlightened. And then the Buddha of the future, Maitreya, will as well, it is said, do the very same thing, rely on the teachings of spiritual masters, follow the path, and attain enlightenment. So this is what it means here by the Buddhas of the past, present, and future, the Buddhas of the three times.
왔다 도베페는 란상기 지는 어색도 도베페지도 다 하고 서지 다 가르잖아 뒤숨기 상기기 녀모빈 디바다 시지디바 탐지 빠르와 디바니가 빠르와 디바니가 판티 가르잖아 소니 토페 로데 장주기 셈단 데네 오메이나 디바니가 판투 고아레 그바 용수조 베수디 옴나 장주기 셈기즘비 동니 토베 로데기 그바 용수조 베수디 동니 곰바르와 인디 디바니가 판투 고아레 다 동이 짱빠 감된 러이나 아니 디바니가 판투 마레 아니 디부야 다주면 디부마다 사기 디부 톱도 마레 안티 나랑조 에네베 장주기 셈단테니 냠네 마체베 이나 어데 도데 상기레 도데 니 다주면 디부지 젠도엔 조고 마레 란도 용소 조요 마레 라베 도베 페데란 상기지노 어데도 순도아 인디 돈다 응마데 냠렘 피타포 용소 조바지 셰고르다 순고아레 만네 니라나 진 차그레스 순고아레
And so it says the positive illustration were those that we just spoke about, the Buddhas of the three times. On the other side are the solitary realizers. And so let's look a little bit more about what that means. So on the first side was the Buddhas of the three times who completely eliminated both veils of obscurations, the afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. For embrace, so it is with a mind that realizes emptiness while embracing bodhicitta. This is the way that both levels of obscurations are eliminated. In order to do that, you need both. Only the view of emptiness and understanding emptiness will not bring one to completely eliminate that which obscures your mind. Completely eliminate that which obscures your mind. For with only the view of emptiness, if one only were to realize emptiness, leave it at that, then there would be a result. But the result, as it says here, is what it means here on the other side, the solitary realizers. So this is not the completely, fully awakened, enlightened state of Buddhahood. This is the result of the solitary realizers. In order to have bodhicitta and emptiness together, this is the perspective of bringing others into the practice, the meaning of the altruistic attitude or bodhicitta. So only having like this emptiness, di do dang ngak, di dogi kecha yom 요사마레라.
라.
도
니
당.
지난에 신인 땡고의 유전대 시고
Uh-huh. And so again, what this is, so I asked Geshe-la, is this more?
양 따바지 신인데 양 따바지 맞댔나? 아니 니란 람라 요는
Oh,
도용
lasso.
거다.
And so we really need a spiritual master who completely embodies both. So there are the teachings of the sutra, there's other, teachings, there's other levels of teaching, but if we want complete enlightenment, and then we need to rely on a spiritual master who embodies not only that which will bring in one part of the path, but the complete path, such as the path that will teach us emptiness and bodhicitta. This would be a genuine spiritual teacher.
야다. 주도 karma 주성도 솔직하나?
So maybe we stop here for a break, a tea break.